that
It's the
coffee.
Tommy Stig Show in 3, 2, 1.
Okay, right off the door, right out the gate, we got to go right into the topic. All right, right into the topic. Number one is I'm going to go with chalk lines first. I think I want to talk about chalk lines first. What do I mean by chalk lines? What I mean by chalk lines is, and as you see in the thumbnail, you got hammers, you got a guy working, you got a sledgehammer of a guy knocking down a building, you got construction. So, as you guys might know, my nickname when I do these construction jobs is called Tommy Tools. Now, Tommy Tools, I don't know where that came from. I learned how to do some work, and somebody named me Tommy Tools, and it stuck. So they gave me the name Tommy Tools. Some of y'all know me as Fluffy. Some of y'all know me as Tommy Stiggs. Some of you know me as Stiggs. Some of you know me as the Jag Off with a YouTube channel. I don't care what it is. Whatever it is. But, okay, we got Tommy Tools. And here's what's the thing. Here's the thing. Things are changing, guys. Now, an old gentleman like myself, or a theme-do type, or some of the old fellas that have been in construction for a long time. I've been around this thing for a long time. It's not my number one trade, although I do dabble in it, and I have for 25, 30 years. The opportunity that I was blessed with, I will discuss at another time. Thank you for complimenting on the shirt. The opportunity, the situation that got me into construction, that's for another situation. That's not for today. Today we're going to talk about absolutely nothing. Today we're going to talk about chalk lines, tools, and things that have changed. Now, I've broken concrete. I've used wet saws to break floors in supermarkets overnight, third shift, so to speak. And I've used chisels, old hammers, just any tool we could find to get the job done, basically. I got to be quite honest with you, right? So now, back in the day, years ago, you used to use a chalk line before we poured concrete or before we made anything level. Put pavers in, built a wall, whatever it was. You used what's called the chalk line. And you would use two sticks, basically. Two sticks on each end of the job. I'm using very basic. Let's say you're building a small 10 by 10 patio. Just using a fake example. You will put a stake over there, and you would drop a chalk line to get level and where you need to be. Anyway, tools that keep it accurate. And they did work. But they've become obsolete. A lot of these, now I got toolboxes full of old tools. I could thread black pipe. I mean, I could build a house if I had the time, right? I have the tools. You'd be surprised. I have all these tools. And I've acquired them over the years. When I do handyman jobs, I buy another tool. But anyway, the point is this. Things have evolved. Things have changed. And what do? You must adapt. We spoke about this before. The engineers come on the job with their laptops, and they want to tell you things have evolved. So I'm going to go with this, the string line. Yeah, the chalk line, string line. So I'm going to go with this. You get to integrate the old and the new. It's very difficult for the old heads to do this. Very, very difficult for the old heads to adapt. Okay? But there are tools that make the job easier, but some guys, they're just resistant. And you can understand why. They've been doing these jobs like this for 30, 40, 50 years. Some of them, right? A pick and an axe. It's just basic tools. So, what do? We adapt. We change. We adapt. I don't know how they used levels back in the day, but you need levels. There's some things that cannot go out. Some things that cannot change. One thing that you cannot replace with any machine, I'm going to say this, is the mind, the heart, and the back. That's the tools right there. That's the tools right there. The mind to process all of this, the heart to want to do this job the way it's supposed to be done, and the back to be able to take the back breaking work. Those three things, there's not a computer, there's not a tool, there's nothing in the world that can replace this. Nothing that can replace this. So that's just a little talk about construction. I will be doing construction today, and the old Italian rule, Catholic or Italian rule, is 2 hour work on Sunday. That's all you're supposed to do, and that is why the Italian tradition, 2 o'clock around the table, is a big thing. It's a big thing. 2 o'clock around the Italian table is a big thing. Why is it 2 o'clock? I'm going to tell you why it's 2 o'clock. Because the gentlemen, the laborers, the workforce back years ago worked long days, morning to night, long days, Monday through Friday. Saturday they also worked 6 days a week. Sunday was a day to everybody to get together on Sunday. 2 o'clock at the dinner table, macaroni, meats, the fruits of your labor came together on Sunday around the big table. Around the big table. And guess what? The cups didn't match. The plates didn't match. Sometimes it did not matter. This was before they acquired that the next gen, the next generations, they started to acquire a favorable Mikasa type vibe, where they got fancy, fancy dishware and all that other shit. But for real, didn't matter. So 2 o'clock on Sunday was the fruits of the labor. But you can work Sunday, 2 hours. So what am I going to do today? I'm going to knock this job out today that I got to do in 2 hours. Now let's take emergencies aside. Emergencies aside. AOV calls and says, I got a busted pipe and I got water everywhere. I'm going to AOV's. His water heater blew out, whatever it might be. I'm going to go help him. That's not work, though. That's not considered, give me a few dollars, but that's not considered paid work. So AOV's pipe breaks. There's nobody around. There's no plumber on Sunday. You're going to pay $500 just for, I'm going to go. But that's different. He's going to send me home with a little Bajanagal from the garden or a meatball. So we're good. So that is a little construction work. All right. That's a little construction talk. Could be boring to some, could be interesting to some. I don't know. Whatever, be that as it may. That was the topic for 10, 15 minutes. Construction. Old heads. We need to adapt to some of the new things that are coming out. Do we want to be next to an engineer, an educated engineer with a laptop and a CAD printing and this and that? And they say, well, my computer tells me that does not support. Well, listen. I'll follow your gut. I'm going to work with you a little bit. You can't be that resistant. You got to give in a little bit, right? You got to give in a little bit. So you'll say to the engineer, okay, engineer, listen, I'm going to work with you. I'm not going to resist. You guys are coming up. You're learning things that we don't know about. We're building it with wood and concrete. You're learning the science of the wood and concrete. And that's okay. We can work together. Let's work together. Let me see your blueprint. And let me explain to you, young man, young lady, why this might not work. Now, in the future, you may be able to use this on a future job. So the young guns, they can't be so ignorant. They got to be a little open to some. Everybody working together can make things work nice. I understand all these programs. I get all of this. Yes, painting is the same tools. Brush, roller, drop cloth, steady hand, bang. And I introduced the sprayers. And they work too. So if everybody works together, things can happen. The educated kid can't be so ignorant and arrogant that he can't hear from the 50-year-old tradesman, right? And the tradesman can't be so ignorant and arrogant that he can't learn a little something from the educated individual. It's teamwork. Work together. Get this done as a team. As we're doing here on this YouTube. I truly believe we have a little bit of a team here. There's no I. This is not my social club. There is an us. As a team here, we're learning from each other. Try this. Oh, I did this. That worked. Let's play around with this. Listen, you got 50, 55, 60-year-old guys having a good time on YouTube and actually making a little dent in the internet world. So it's nice. So my point is this: working together with old stuff and new stuff. My opinion is to all of you out there, this may fall on deaf ears because how many people really watch my stuff? Work with the individual, work with the young guns, all right? Young guns, work with the older fellas. You make it, it may come together more beautiful than you ever thought it would. He may give you a tip, she may give you a tip on how to do this, that, and